Right, we're back, guys. Sorry about that. We needed to pause for a bio break, and I had to grab some pain meds because I have a migraine coming on because I forgot to take my allergy pill this morning, which was joy. So, forgive me, Snark, but as always, I just separated myself from the computer and I've lost my train of thought.
Well, we had just finished talking about credit rating, essentially some ways to build it up.
Yes, and
And
we were...
before that, we were talking
we were
about
talking
the
about
APR.
finance. That's the point that we were at. So yeah, so you going back, you're there. You've got the screen again. Like I said, has the fine print at the bottom. It was something stupid because somebody somewhere decided they were going to attempt to sue them because whatever.
Right.
And
Of
some of
course.
their lawyers that they have on file popped that thing on there. It wasn't anything crazy that they were trying to pull over on me again. So we go through and it says that, and I haven't finished the process, obviously. I don't have the new car.
Right.
And then we get to, and he hands me this sheet of paper, and it says, this is, we'll give you $12,000 to buy your car today. This is what you need to bring in with you. You need to bring in the title, if the title isn't with the lien holder. Now, in the state of Indiana, if you have a lien on your car, when you title your car, it actually goes to the lien holder, not you. When you get the title transferred over into your name and they issue you a new title with the car in your name, they actually send that to the lien holder. And it's for precautionary purposes, so that, whatever. So my lien holder has my title. Whatever, it's not a big deal. Lien holder sends it to me. Actually, no, when I pay off the lien, what ends up happening is that the lien holder sends me a letter that says you've got a zero balance, and I take that letter into the DMV, and I say blah. They issue me a new title that shows no lien.
Okay.
So that's always awesome. If you have a title where you own a car and it shows on there that you have or had a lien on it, get a letter from your lien holder that says that is no longer applicable. Take the title and that into your local Bureau of Motor Vehicles or Department of Motor Vehicles, whatever your state happens to call it, and say, I would like, and you can request this. Sometimes there is like a $20 fee, but then whenever you go to sell that car, you don't have to go through the extra paperwork at that point in time to say there's no lien on it. If you get in a wreck that totals your car, your insurance company, you don't have to go through all that kind of paperwork with your insurance company to say there's not a lien on it. If you decide you want to switch from full coverage to liability coverage, you have to get that letter from your lien holder that says there's no longer a lien on this. Because as long as that title says there is a lien on this, and you don't have that piece of paper or that signature or whatever it is that says that there's not, everybody thinks that it's still there.
Yep.
And will work under the assumption that it is, because your title is a legally binding document, and as long as it says that there's a lien, according to the law, there's a lien, even if there's not. But I digress. So anyways, they hand me this piece of paper that says this is what we'll buy for your car right now. Bring in your title, registration to prove that you did have the car registered and it was registered in your name. The title, obviously, so that you can prove that the car is in your name and you are able to sell it, and your driver's license. And they will buy my car with those three documents. They need to prove that I am who I say I am. They need to prove that my car was registered in the state that I told them it was registered in. And they need to prove that I own it.
And that's it?
And that's it. Now, it's a little bit more complicated for them to go through and prove my loan. But not much. If I'm using a car as a down payment, I need to bring in... now, this varies by situation, by your credit score and everything. Like I said, I have good credit rating. So what they need from me tomorrow morning is... I'm actually putting an additional deposit on top of it, not just the trade-in value on my car. So they need, a check with it on there. If I'm allowed to use a personal check. I don't have to go by my bank and get one. I don't have to go find a money order. I don't have to get a cashier's check. I can use a personal check because I use online banking. You have to be able to prove that you have the funds in the account to cover the check.
Right.
So whatever. So, I get my check for my deposit, both the keys to my car, if there are two keys. If there's not two keys and you only have one key, and you just say, I only have one key. The title, the registration, and my driver's license. Those 5 things, those 5 documents, and I will tomorrow morning. Oh, and the car. You kind of have to bring the car to the training.
Well, you know, that was kind of an unspoken requirement.
And you bring those 6. Well, I guess technically there are 7 because I have to be there too to sign the documents. I can't send somebody else there with my car.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. I don't even have to have proof of current insurance. Now, granted, you need to have that kind of stuff in your car anyway, so that if you get pulled over, you can prove it. But yeah, so bring the check, bring the title, bring the registration. I can't bring the title, so bring the check, bring the registration, bring my driver's license. Oh, and the keys. So 2 keys.
And yourself, and the car.
And myself in the car. So 6 things. 6 things. And I will walk out with a new car. When I got my car last time, I had to bring in my last 3 months worth of bank statements, my last month worth of pay stubs, 2 forms of ID, which was a utility bill. Of course, your driver's license is one. You have to prove that you can drive before they'll sell you a car.
Right.
Whatever. Had to bring those in. Had to have a secondary form of identification proving my address, which was a utility bill, a bank statement. So the bank statement would count as both. Credit card statement, something that was an additional form of identification that also proved my address. What else did I have to bring?
You already said the pay stubs.
Yeah, I already said that. But there was I had a file folder full of stuff I had to bring in with me.
Yeah.
In order to process this financing. And then they gave me these giant sheets of paper that were full of legalese that they didn't even give me time to read. It was crazy.
So a much more improved experience at CarMax. Image here.
I'm not done. Tomorrow, once I've got back, we'll have to sit down and I'll tell you, we'll throw together a 15 or 20 minute thing telling about, what was the tail end of the experience like. But thus far, it's been remarkably just awesome. And you know what's really funny? Funny? I could have gone back there today and finished the process out.
You had all the stuff here ready to go? You could have just gone back?
I needed a check, and I needed my second key fob. If I had those 2 things with me, I would have come home. I would have, in 3 hours, walked in, sold them my car, and bought a new car. Not a new car, but, new.
But, yeah. Cool. So tomorrow, assuming all goes well, you'll be coming home with a brand new navy blue Hyundai something. Hyundai something.
Hyundai something.
Are you actually going to surprise anyone with this?
I've told all the important people. I haven't told everyone what it is, but yeah, I've told my mom. I called my mom and I told her about it. I've told Magus about it. I told Michael about it. Michael was with his parents. Jaina's not old enough to understand. The rest of my family doesn't see me but once in a blue moon. So most of the time, they might see me once every 6 years. So most of the time when they see me, I'm driving a new vehicle anyways.
It's expected.
Cool. That's exaggerated. Most of the rest of my family sees me once or twice a year.
For holidays and stuff.
Yeah, holidays. But some of them, I have family members that I haven't, immediate family members. So, cousins, aunts, uncles that I haven't seen in over a decade.
The same, just because of location and such.
Yeah, because of location and in family fighting.
Oh, that's a whole nother topic. Topics.
I'm the black sheep of my family.
Oh man.
It's not because I'm weird. It's because I'm more normal than they are, more rational than they are.
At least that's what you think. Very cool. Well, buying a new car is a very exciting experience. I'm sure
It
you
is,
will.
and I really wanted to. I mean, you heard me when I called you earlier. I
Oh
was so
yeah.
excited.
You,
And
you,
I'm
you.
still excited. Woo!
As soon as you called me, I could tell that you were excited about something.
Oh, yeah.
Just that
Oh,
little
yeah.
flutter in the voice.
And you know what? What's really funny? Before I even had it in my head that I was going to swing through CarMax and do this, I was already in a good mood at work. The guys at work were teasing me because I was walking around getting ready to leave, and I was dancing. There wasn't even any music. I didn't have my headphones in, nothing. I was just in such a good mood. I was like, I had a spring in my step, you know?
Good. So just it's icing on top of the cake.
Yes, today has been a miraculous
Nice.
day, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Snark, how long have we been in this Skype phone call?
Let's see. This is going to be a long one. Just coming up on 3 hours now.
I talked about my car buying experience for 3 hours.
It wasn't just a car buying. You went through a bunch of finance tips,
I
doing the
did.
credit rating,
And you know what,
car
guys?
driving tips.
I am not. I'm going to throw the disclaimer on the end here because that this is how brother and I operate. My advice is not professional advice. My advice is stuff that I've learned over my own years. You can take it or leave it however you want to. And if your opinion differs, you know what? Cool. Sit down, tell me about it. We'll talk about it. I'll explain a little bit further if I didn't fully explain. You can explain your point of view. And who knows? You might teach me something.
If you have a differing opinion, send an email to zanasma@opinions.com.
Or you could send it to zanasma.zayal@gmail.com, which is the real one.
Or that too. That works. It goes to the same box.
No, one of them goes into the void and comes back from the postmaster saying, this was undeliverable.
I am going to take out an account like that just so I can see if people will send
You're going
it
to
me.
make a Gmail, you're going to make an account.
No, I'm going to take out a domain.
You're going to
called
buy
Opinions.
a domain.
Somebody probably already has it.
Opinions.
I'm going to offer them money for that domain. Because I bet that's already taken. Let me see. Oh, it may not be. No, I won't. I won't buy that. Don't send your email there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, just
If you have complaints about what I just did, send them your complaints to complaints@zanasma.com.
Yeah, that one totally exists. I do own
Yes.
the zanasma.com domain name.
Yes.
Although I also own the complaintsrus.org.
If you have any questions about CarMax, send it to zanasma@carmax.com.
Yeah.
She'll get back to you as she is actually representative for CarMax.
Yep. Totally. I did this whole thing in order to get you guys
Yes.
to come to CarMax and buy our products because we're awesome and we just want your money. And I've been totally... I don't know how to go any further than that. I lost it.
This is a viral marketing campaign.
Yeah, there
Something
we go.
new we're trying out.
He's the brains of the operation.
Yes, we started this roughly in January 23rd of this year, and this whole it's all tea time on here, and we figured, hey, this would be a good way to communicate with people.
So all of those other tea times, they were all a lie. This is the only one that matters. This is the ultimate end goal.
Yes, it's all been building up to this. But no, I will say that the first few tea times weren't like that. But ever since we contacted Zanasma, this has been the end goal. This will actually be the last tea time because the message is now out there, and it just has to propagate and spread like a bunch of bunny rabbits.
See, I can tell that's sarcasm.
How?
Okay, guys, we've been at this for Snarg and I have been on the call for 3 hours.
Yes. Just hit 3 hour mark. 3 hour mark.
So
now.
our call just hit the 3 hour mark. I don't actually know if the recording has hit the 3 hour mark.
It's probably very close.
Because the one that I'm looking at is at 14 minutes. Because we've done this in 3 chunks. So I will see you guys next time. No, I don't know when the next one's going to be, but you know what? When the inspiration hits, we grab it, we record, and we go with it. So I'll see you guys next time. Signing off. But you
Take care. Don't eat anything I wouldn't eat.
You licked a lawnmower.
That's why I said that.
Don't
'Cause
eat the
you-
things that he would eat.
No, it's an experience. You've got to try it at least once.
No.
Dog food and cat food too.
Yeah. He, he recommends that you eat the cat food before you eat the dog
Yeah,
food.
because I mean, look, I tell
No,
you, this stuff
no,
is
I
not that
don't want
great.
it. No, I don't. I'm not watching.
I mean, it's okay. This is mix-ups flavor.
Really eat it?
Mm-hmm. See, cat food's not as good as dog food.
Down.
Dog food tastes a lot like gravy. Cat food just tastes a lot like kind of weird fish combined with wheat checks.
Are you done now?
I am.
I can't believe you ate the cat treat.
The cat wouldn't eat it. Someone's got to eat it. Take care. Have a good night.
So I'm back, guys. We're back, I suppose I should say. And
Yes.
I have purchased my new car.
Woohoo! I've heard all about it. Actually, I haven't a lot. But I heard that the experience was quite enjoyable.
Oh, it was awesome. It was awesome. So, you know how I was telling you that everything up to now, I really appreciate everything up to now because they had just been really straightforward and honest, and the whole thing, seemed really simple, completely the opposite of my last experience.
Yep.
Well, it
That didn't change, did it? Oh, good. Continued.
Yeah, it continued that way. It was awesome. I walked in. I'd had the appraisal done the day before. I rewind. I went to my bank.
You okay there?
my,
You get that raspberry out? You got it out?
my mouth was not cooperating on shaping the words I wanted to say.
Have you taken drugs?
Yes.
Okay.
I had
That explains
2
everything.
large ibuprofen.
Not crack this time.
No.
Okay.
Crack ever. Anytime.
No. Okay.
So.
But it was a pleasant experience.
It was a pleasant experience. I went to my bank. I got my cashier's check. That was a hassle and a half. But that was just because I tried to make the check out to 20,000 instead of 2,000.
Yeah, they kind of tend to bat an eye at that, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, my cashier or my banker was like, I thought you said you wanted to make it out for 2,000. I was like, yeah, I did. And she goes, you might want to look at that number again. It's like, I'd love to make it out for that amount, but you don't have that much in your account. I was like, you know what? If you want to make it out to that amount, even though I don't have that much in my account, I will happily trade 2,000 for 20.
Not today.
Yeah,
Not
they
today.
didn't really go for that. Whatever. So I got that. I got down there, met up with the guy. Had my stuff for the trade-in and everything. And the whole process took me, I was figuring to be there a couple of hours, the whole process took me about 45 minutes.
Hey, nice. And at the end of that 45 minutes, you were driving out with the car?
And at the end of that 45 minutes, I was driving out with the car.
Everything settled? No follow-ups?
Everything's all good. I don't have to go back. I got my 150,000 6-year warranty. So that's awesome. It covers everything but glass, which is really nice because my insurance covers glass. They're kind of supposed to. It's like the law. And Xahn is getting ready to try to dump my soup into the floor, I think.
Oh. Well, that's not good for the carpet.
No, I have white carpet. Well, beige.
Not anymore.
I have beige carpet. Oh, what are you doing?
I still can't see what's going on, so I'm just imagining this. So you've been able to drive it for
Been driving it since
a couple
Saturday.
of days now.
Yep, since
Yeah.
Saturday. It's Tuesday now, for reference.
It is Tuesday.
I've discovered that, you know how excited I was about having a USB port right in it? You know, the MP3 USB port? I don't actually like it.
Why?
Well, because I use my iPod Nano, it's the new one. And when you hook it up to a USB thing, it syncs with it or attempts to sync with it. It pops up with a screen that blocks the entire thing and says, you are connected. Won't let you access the music or anything. So it still plays, and I can still, hit next through my songs. The only problem is it goes through and it picks out my entire playlist. And I can't choose a playlist. It chooses my entire song selection and just goes down the line in the order that they're put in there. And I can't pick something out that I want to listen to specifically.
Yeah, that kind of sounds like the thing that I have, where even if you have it set up in playlists, it'll basically just grab any music files it finds and just use that.
Yeah, that's basically what it's doing. And, that's awesome, and that's great, and that's awesome if you have just a regular old MP3 player that doesn't have playlists, but I have playlists set up. And Jaina? Op. Did you hear that? She said op.
I did.
Op.
Should I do the wave?
Yes. Jaina, look.
Hello. This is the claw!
She's waving, but the camera can't see it.
Oh.
She's going.
I can't see it, so I'm just assuming.
But it's all the way down here.
Oh.
We're having difficulties encoding again.
Uh-oh.
Let me try. They still can't see you, Jaina. Hi. Hi. They can hear you. Ugh. Here, stand up and do it. Say hi. Did you catch that one?
Hi. Yes, I heard. Hi. Hey.
Snarg.
Yes.
I was asked who she was saying hello to.
Oh.
Honey, Mommy's actually recording right now. Mommy's gonna put you back in the floor with your milk, okay? Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Say bye. Here. Go over and play with Daddy. Hold on a sec, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, I'm still here for you. I mean, you can hear me, you just won't see me.
Oh.
Up. Michael.
You okay there?
Yeah, I'm fine. I thought the chair was closer to me than it was.
Oh. I hope you're recording.
I am totally recording. Your videos. Apparently, I have to have Skype pulled up and active, otherwise it freezes your window.
It makes sense, I
so
suppose.
For the last, 6 or 7 seconds, your face has just been frozen.
Can't imagine what pose I was in then.
It wasn't that bad. You were making, a neutral face.
Okay.
So, where was I? Talking about the car and the thing. So, yeah, if you have just a generic old MP3 player that, you put only your favorite stuff on, then, yeah, it's cool. But if you're like me and you have a bazillion MP3s and you only listen to about 1/4 of them, I plugged it in and it proceeded to play music I didn't know I had.
I guess the solution to that would be, you have an 1/8-inch jack, right? The one for your headphones?
Yeah, it has an auxiliary port.
I guess you just have to plug it in directly through that.
That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what I've been doing. And for, when I have my iPhone plugged into it, the USB thing is awesome because my iPhone only has the music on it that I like. So plugging it into the iPhone will be, just fine. But plugging it into my iPod, which has all of my music on it, most of which I don't want to listen to 90% of the time, then it doesn't really work all that great.
Have you had a chance to read through the manual and see if that's the only mode for it, or?
Well, what's really funny? Saturday, I bought the car, came home, I start reading through the manual because my mother has instructed me that anytime I buy a new car, must read manual. Must do.
Sure.
Not allowed to not do. So I pull out my manual, and I made it about halfway through, and then I woke up, and it was 4 or 5 hours later.
Oh. I hope you weren't late for anything.
No, I didn't have anywhere to be, but it was really funny. Because I'm sitting there and I'm reading, and I'm like, no. I'm like,
I mean, I guess car manuals aren't the most
interesting,
exciting pieces of reading.
Yeah. Especially when you get to the section where they're explaining to you how to properly wear a seatbelt.
Oh, how many pages does it devote to that?
I lost count.
I was kind of joking, but did they really devote more than a couple pages to it?
Yes. In fact, if you really want me to, I could run out to my car and get my manual and tell you how many pages they devote to it.
That's up to you.
Nah. Not worth it. It was several because it has warnings, and then it goes over talking about how to properly install children in car seats and how to properly install varying types of children seats, so booster seats, forward-facing child seats. Why are you taking too long to encode, you stupid thing? Rear-facing children's seats, things that have anchors, etc., 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 etc.
Basically, they had a whole section on how to buckle seatbelts in various ways.
Yeah. And how to not buckle seatbelts. And warnings on what could happen if you buckled your seatbelt improperly.
Oh, man. Did they have those hilarious illustrations that showed what could go wrong if you didn't buckle them right?
No, it just had giant yellow things that said, "Warning! Warning!
I love...
Did you know if your seatbelt is not properly installed, you could go through the windshield?"
So I just love it when they had those illustrations that actually show the accidents occurring. So you see this little stick figure just like flying through a windshield or falling off a roller coaster or something like that.
Yeah. Those are awesome. So that's the only thing that I've just kind of been like, what? Okay. Man, it's taking too long to encode again. Why are you taking too long to encode?
Do you have Minecraft running?
No, I closed Minecraft. Although that's a good
If it's the same settings as last time, I don't know.
I haven't changed anything. Ah! No, scroll down. Scroll down, thank you. Performance. Yeah, I don't get it. It just keeps... It's randomly spiking.
I don't know.
My performance is just randomly spiking out of nowhere. Whatever. So where was I? Ah, car. Yes. So
Yes.
it appears that it gets way better gas mileage than what my car was getting.
Oh, good. Actually,
Even
what
though
is
it's only
advertised?
rated for, well, no, I don't know that yet. I haven't gone through a full tank of gas.
Okay.
But it has gone through... I used to fill up once a week with the caliber, which isn't bad. You know, I'd go Wednesday to Wednesday generally is how I did it. But, you know, you sit there, and I only drove like 5 days out of the week. So I only drove to work and back, pretty much. So I've driven to work and back 2 days now. And if you figure 5 days is a full tank of gas, you know, I should have gone through... Do the math. My math is not working. I tried to do it in my head and it failed.
Said 5 days is a full tank of gas.
5 days is a full tank of gas, so I should have gone through over a quarter of a tank by now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've actually driven... So I've driven to work 2 days, and I've driven the equivalent of to work an extra day. So I've driven 3 days, and I just now hit a fourth of a tank of gas.
Okay.
And I should be around a half of a tank of gas.
Nice. So that's going to save you quite a bit in the long run.
Yeah, yeah.
And,
now, I don't know if that's because I've been driving differently than I had been. I have not, the past 2 days when I've been going to work, I haven't been in a hurry getting to work. Normally I'm running about 10 or 15 minutes late. So I'm generally, well, okay, not late, like I'm not going to be late to work, but later than I like being, later than I'm comfortable being. And so I'm generally going a little little bit faster.
Driving it like you stole it?
Not quite that fast.
Oh. I know some
In
people
fact,
do that. It's not
if you were
fun.
driving it like you stole it, you should drive extra cautiously so the cops don't want to pull you over. Because when they ask you for your license and registration, it doesn't match.
That's true. It's true. Very good tip. If anyone is stealing cars, just tell them that you learned what you know from Xanasma.
You know, it's really funny. I have to really watch myself sometimes, because I will sit there and, why are you taking too long to encode? Whoosh, 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 whoosh. Okay, it's fixed. I was rapidly
Making those
moving my
sounds
hand
that it will
to
fix
see
it.
fixed. Leave me alone.
I did know someone who actually used to hit his computer when it was misbehaving, and it would work.
He had it
There's no-
trained.
Apparently so. But if it didn't turn on, he had to give it a back rub, and then it would work. We think it's because of some misplaced wire or short circuit or something. Somehow it worked though.
Okay. Anyway, I
Anyway.
have this really odd habit of, you will throw impossible situations or, extremely unlikely, and I'll start thinking through varying aspects of how to do something properly or improperly. So one time my friend, I was sitting, we're sitting in the middle of a college class, lots of people in there, we're sitting in the back, kind of away from everybody, and the professor was just boring, really, really boring, like we were sitting there, and she started talking about how, because he was really old too, so it's like, somebody should just shoot him.
Let me guess.
What about
You
his
thought of thinking
misery?
of ways you could do that and get away with it.
I started explaining to her all the varying reasons that it wouldn't be a bright idea for her to have to do that. Now,
Congratulations,
she knew
you
me.
saved a professor's life.
Thankfully, she knew me. However, the person that was sitting just to my left didn't. And about halfway through the conversation, when I started talking about how if you were actually going to do it, then you should make sure, you cut him up and feed him to the pigs, because, there was that mass murderer, or there was that guy that murdered that girl in Canada who, cut her up and fed her to the hogs, and then the police came for not suspecting him at all, and came and talked to him and everything, and then they left, and then they came back and they were talking to him, and they're like, "Have you seen her?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's out back." And the police are like, "What?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, she's out back." "Well, can we see her?" "Well, that's going to be kind of hard to do." "Well, why?" "Well, fed her to the hogs."
But they had no idea otherwise.
Yeah, they had no idea otherwise. So I'm like, okay, so if you're really going to do it, make sure you, commit the murder in such a way that you're not going to get caught. And then feed them to the hogs.
Makes sense.
There's no ever. I mean, they'll eat anything.
Who's going to check on that?
I don't
I
know.
mean, pump the hog's stomach and then do it. No one's going to do
No,
that.
because they their stomachs are super strong, and so it dissolves every. I am not telling you to go out and murder people and feed them to the hogs. Okay, I'm not doing that.
Have you ever just sat there and tried to plan a bank robbery
No,
with other people? No?
no.
Oh, you're missing out. We used to get a couple of guys together, and we would actually get like plans of the bank. And
So this isn't me being weird. Other people
No.
actually do this?
yes, and we would like plan various ways that we could rob a bank and get away with it.
I'm glad I'm not weird.
I mean, come on.
This particular aspect.
Every person has their felony fantasies, right?
What?
Felony fantasies.
I've never had a felony fantasy.
Well, okay. For example, you have a fantasy of, I mean, you don't actually do it, obviously, but
Really?
for ours it would be planning a bank robbery. For yours, maybe it'd be getting away with a murder or something like that, where
I
you
like
sit
how
there
you
and
think I'm evil.
did the word evil ever come up in this conversation?
You told me I fantasized about murdering someone.
Well, no. See, it's a felony fantasy. It's a fantasy. That doesn't mean like this isn't like
No, that's
planning a
called
murder.
premeditated.
Yes, exactly. This isn't anything you're actually going to do. No, it's like thinking about, hey, I'm going to murder my boss. Are you really going to do it? Probably not.
Probably.
But It's just something, it brings you pleasure to think about it sometimes. Am I lying?
And every time you talk, they're picking up on mine.
Hmm?
I am quite positive we have the exact same mic.
Wait, what?
Probably not. I'm having a conversation with someone else who happens to be in the room and also happens to have a non-push-to-type ventrilo system. Push-to-talk.
Oh, so, wait, so are they hearing these conversations of murder?
Yeah.
If they're gamers, don't understand.
I don't know.
I mean, I tell you what, some of those raid conversations
Are
can be
pretty
really
bad,
odd sometimes.
Yeah. So, we've been way off topic. Let's get back to the car.
Right, we stopped off in the middle of the manual after the seatbelt section.
Yeah, well, I fell asleep. I can't tell
You
you
fell
anything
asleep.
more about the manual.
Oh, okay. So there may be some information that you just
There
have
might
not
be
found
some
out.
information there that I just haven't got to. Now, I have figured out how to program my favorite radio stations.
Aha,
It was really easy. I didn't even have to read the manual for that part.
that's good. If you,
It took me longer to find my favorite radio station than it took me to program my favorite radio station.
that's good. That's good design. If you could just figure it out yourself.
Yeah, all you do is push and hold down the button for X time frame.
For X time frame.
Yeah, I don't actually know what it was.
Okay. You could show someone if it was right there in front of you, but
Push.
you push the button and it works.
It beeped, and it's good.
All right. Simple enough.
Yeah, really simple. I also figured out how to set the clock. You know how
Aha.
hard it was to set the clock in my Dodge?
I don't know how hard it was to
I
set
had
the
to
clock. in
reread the
Dutch.
manual every time I had to do it.
That's okay.
Now, granted,
I know
I
what
only had to
my.
do it 3 times.
Normally, you hold down like the clock button, then you use the seeker or the tune to set the time, right?
Now, you hold down the clock button, and I remember how to do this because I actually had to do it right before I traded it in. Because
Okay.
daylight savings. Yes,
Mhm.
we Americans are stupid and weird, and I ought to get rid of the thing. But, so you hold down the clock button, you hold down the time button until it starts flashing. And then you turn the, not the volume knob, but the seeker knob thing, the one on the right.
Yep.
You turn it forwards and backwards to set the time. And then when you want to go from the hours to the minutes, you tap it. And it goes from the hours to the minutes, and then you spin it.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you're done, you tap it again, and it stops blinking, and you're good.
There you go.
You know how easy it is to set the time in my Hyundai?
How much easier is it?
It has a button that says H, and it has a button that says M. You
Wow,
tap
it
the
actually has.
button that
Wait,
says
wait, wait.
H.
It actually has dedicated buttons for the clock.
Yes, you tap the button that says
Wow.
H, and the hours go up. And you keep tapping it until it gets to the hour that you want. And the same with the minutes. Now, what sucks about that is if you are at 5:01 and you need it to be 1 minute sooner, you have to tap the button 50, 60 times.
And by the time you get around, it's already 5:01 anyway.
And by the time you get around, it's 5:01.
Oh well. Although, wouldn't that be easy to accidentally push the hour and the minute button?
No, because it's in a completely separate area from your actual audio auxiliary thingy.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it's got its own little thing, which I was really annoyed with at first, because why would you put the clock up here when you have the audio stuff complete with digitalized screen that reads stuff down here?
Guess because they didn't want it to be bunched around the other stuff so you could accidentally hit it.
I don't know. I don't really care. It works.
I think. Good.
Yeah, it works.
That's the only thing. So what other nifty features have you found in your car?
Well, I figured out how to open the gas tank.
Congratulations.
Gas tank cover. It's one of those ones that has a button to open it, so it's actually, you don't just walk out and pull it open. I've never had a car that did that before.
So did you get out and you're like, eh?
No, you see, I haven't actually had to fill up my tank yet. I actually went through the process of finding the button so that I'd know where it was, and we'll see if I remember when I get to the gas tank.
Okay.
But you know what I haven't told everybody yet?
What?
What kind of car it is. Because remember, I didn't remember last time.
Oh, that's true. Well, I'll let you bring the surprise upon everyone.
So it is a blue Hyundai Elantra four-door sedan.
Yes.
SXE, I think. It's not sex, it's like SXE.
You never know. They could have used those acronyms to describe it. Hyundai Elantra sex.
Oh, I have the sex model.
Sex models. Wait, what exactly does that mean?
Oh, wow, my computer is having difficulties with me because I'm laughing or something.
Wait, so every time you laugh, it has encoding issues?
Apparently, it's having encoding issues right now. I'm really curious if it's just the video part that's having encoding issues or if it's the audio too. Because periodically it just freezes. So I'm going to laugh if the voice just kind of stays the same, but periodically the screen freezes.
I don't know. I imagine it'll probably freeze both of them. But
Yeah, I would imagine it would freeze both of them too. So
So you have the sex model.
I have the sex model. I don't actually remember what the acronym is. It's an acronym.
It's the sex model now. I'm sorry. It is. It just is.
So I guess that means I know what I'm naming my car now.
Sex.
No, it has to. We have to do better than just calling it sex. We have to
Okay.
give it a position.
What about that time I mistyped or the autocorrected my the name into Megasex? What about that? The blue Megasex?
I'm not calling my car the Blue Megasex.
Why? Oh. Okay. Well, I'm just offering
I'm having people
suggestions.
roll my eyes at me now.
Maybe you should
Roll
ask his
their
grade.
eyes at me. Excuse me. You did.
Okay, so we're
Blame
looking for
Stark.
something.
It's not my fault.
All right, fine. I'll take responsibility for that. So, all right, we'll bring it down to something a little more G-rated.
You can make sex G-rated.
Well, maybe just abandoning that altogether.
Okay, so what are we gonna name my car?
Well, what was your previous car named? What kind of theme do you like?
My Caliber didn't have a name.
No?
No, but she was a she. This car is definitely a she too.
A she? Okay.
But she's more sexy and sleek.
Okay. All right. So normally when I'm trying to think of names, I literally just look around the room and find products, boxes.
That's how I named the cat before Splotch.
Okay. So
Only I wasn't looking around the room, I was looking in WoW. And the first thing that caught my attention was one of those magical brooms in Silver Moon. Why did I try to say Silverwind?
I don't know. Doesn't ring a bell for me, so I don't know.
Yeah, it doesn't either. But yeah, one of those little magical brooms going around the Blood Elf starter zone. And so her name was Broom.
There you go. Unfortunately, what I've got all around me are a bunch of games and some sunscreen and cat. So
Name my car sunscreen. Oh, that's it. I'll name my car Muffin.
all right, that works.
Only wait. Your cat's name isn't Muffin. It's Mittens.
It's Mittens, yes.
What?
The blueberry muffin, that actually works. I mean, it's kind of cute, but maybe you're into that.
I think I'm just gonna call it Muffin. So my
Okay.
car's name is now Muffin.
Muffin it is.
Muffin.
Muffin sex. I mean, just muffin.
Sexy Muffin Cannon.
Yes.
Muffin for
That's
short.
that's when it really takes off.
Her name is Sexy Muffin Cannon. Muffin for short.
There you go. When anyone asked initially, you'll just call it muffin.
Gawa-chan, if you watch this, this is in no way related to your muffin stuff. Unless you want it to be. In which case, that's totally where I got the idea from.
There you go. Let's please all audiences.
So, sexy
All right.
muffin cannon.
Yes.
Muffin.
Sexy stud muffin cannon. All right.
That makes it sound like it's shooting stud muffins out of it.
Oh. Never mind. You just know how to ruin a name, don't you?
Hey, there's a cute, small, petite female thing driving it. The car is female.
Okay.
It can't be a stud muffin car.
Man, have you seen some of the stuff that people have named their Corvettes?
No.
All right. Someone who shall not be named has actually named their Corvette None for You.
So what you're telling me is Voldemort named his car None for You? What is Voldemort driving a Corvette for anyways?
Well, he really liked the feel of the wind when he stuck his head out because, it's just so smooth. And he got one that was just pitch black. No, it was... I just realized the guy who drives it is bald, too. No, but he actually got a license plate. It says it has None for You. And it's got a real douche about it, now that I think about it. But anyway. People who get Corvettes always seem to name their cars something really rude. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyway.
So, I like her. She's nice.
Good.
She has not annoyed me thus far.
It's good. I mean, it's only been a couple days, but so far so good. By the time you had your last car, you kind of
I was already
knew.
annoyed at this point.
Right. So it's going a lot better than last time. Good.
Yeah, it's going a lot better than last time. The one thing that's odd that I've noticed about it, I don't have a engine heat gauge.
Engine heat gauge?
Yeah, the heat gauge or whatever it is.
I've known some cars that don't have that.
Yeah, but it just struck me as really odd because that's normally how I figure out when I need to turn the heater on in the morning. Because once that gauge gets to a certain level, I know that the engine's warmed up enough that I can turn the heat on and it'll blow out hot air as opposed to blowing out cold air. But
Well, I mean, after a while, you kind of get a feel anyway, don't you?
yeah, it takes approximately the same amount of time as the Dodge took to heat up in the morning. So
Okay.
I just, I knew about when I hit the interstate is when I can turn the heat on. So that's all good.
Good.
Yep.
Oh, it's so nice putting the mittens with your feet.
Yes, mittens are very, very warm and fuzzy on your feet.
Yes. All right,
Splotch
so...
would proceed to attack your feet and rake at your heels with his back paws while licking your toes.
Oh.
He's not allowed to bite, so he licks.
That's an acceptable substitute.
Yep.
So I got a question. This has been bugging me all day.
Okay.
Why, whenever somebody's taking a picture of a sports coach, do they always take them in this position? It's like doing a little her thing. I just noticed every single picture is of them doing that. But why? It's such an unflattering pose.
I was unaware of this phenomenon.
I guarantee you, they'll be doing something like this, or something, or just pointing at somebody and making the duck face. I noticed it because I was going through Walmart, and I saw this guy's picture being used to advertise a bunch of shaving products. And so I was like, it seems like a lot of them are in that pose. And so I started looking at pictures on my phone, and sure enough, the majority of them are like that. When did this start? Email anathema at arshinguy.com if you know the answer.
But
all emails are read and responded to?
All emails are lost into the void.
Well, either that.
Wait, no. They would all be responded to by the postmaster.
True enough. Alright.
But no, I'd say the answer to that question is probably the same answer to why teenage girls seem to think that it's attractive to post themselves on Facebook making duck faces.
So what you're saying is that sports coaches actually started the duck face phenomenon.
Or the other way around. They were
I think
responding to the duck face phenomenon.
I'll take that in consideration.
It's possible.
All right. Anyway, so if you could recommend that somebody get a car, would you A, recommend they get it through CarMax? Probably yes. And B, would you recommend your Hyundai Elantra sex model?
The sex model is the best model.
Yes.
You know, picking out a car for yourself is ultimately each and every person's taste varies. If you can't tell, I'm not very particular about what it is that I'm driving. So, no, I'm not necessarily going to recommend that you get a Hyundai Elantra. Certainly, it meets all of my requirements. It might not meet all of yours. As far as buying a car through CarMax, yes, 110%. It was easy. It was straightforward from the start to the finish. They have a wide selection of, reasonably priced used cars in good shape. And, granted, I was working with a sales rep who I knew personally, but, just because I knew him personally doesn't mean that he was, actively going through and doing anything different than he would have done with anybody else. So, you know what?
Words.
If you're looking to buy a car, take an hour or two out of your time, swing by your local CarMax dealership, and at the very least you can figure out what the fair market value of the car that you're getting rid of would be. Because, like I told you in the previous segments, I was expecting trade-in value on that car to be about $10,000. And probably if I'd gone to a dealer, that's about what I would have gotten out of it. But, I got $2,000 more out of it because I went to CarMax. And that was pretty nice.
Good.
Now, the slightly annoying thing, I've gotten 7 emails from them since Saturday.
What about? Just invoices and such?
Congratulations on your new purchase. So congratulations on my new purchase. Well, I told you about that one I got. I got the day or Sunday after I'd already gone and picked up my car. I got an email from them saying, "We understand that you went to CarMax here recently. How was your experience? Are you thinking? Click here if you're thinking about coming back and buying the Elantra that you did so that you processed some financing on. Click here if you're interested in seeing more of our inventory. Click here if you'd like, a recap of the varying cars that you test drove." And I'm like, I already bought one and drove it home.
Maybe they wanted you to get another one. Who knows? No. So if there was one downside, it'd be a lot of email spam.
It's not all of it's been spam. A couple of them have been things that I was like, those aren't useful for me at all. But I think that was more that they were a couple of automated emails for, a normal person going in. They probably would have gone in, shopped around, gone home, come back a few days later.
Okay.
Unlike me, who went in not prepared to buy a car and left the next day with a new car having sold theirs.
Okay, so
I'd say
maybe
I'm
not the
probably
process.
the abnormal one there. Not having prior visits in the showroom. So, there's that. And then I got one that was congratulations on buying your new vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a recap of your transaction. You sold your car for blah amount. You bought this Hyundai Elantra. Here's the model number. Blah, blah, blah. And then I got another email saying, your financing is all squared away and, you're you'll be receiving your first bill on such and such day. So there's 3. And then I guess I overreacted to have had 4 because today I got a survey from them.
Okay. So all in all, not too bad.
All in all, not too bad. A couple of them, like I said, were things that I was like, meh, I don't really need this, but I'd say they would probably be useful for your average consumer going in to do it. And we'll see throughout the rest of this week and the coming month how many emails I get from them.
Okay. Did you want to perhaps do a 1 month later car update or something of that sort, or do you think you're pretty satisfied? Okay.
Unless you guys want to know about it, and if you guys want to know about it in a month, then start hitting me up and ask me, to reflect a little bit more on it. It probably won't be a long video, but whatever. But yeah, it's a nice car. I highly recommend you at least go in and check it out if you're, I don't think CarMax is outside the States. I think it's just in the States.
Let me check, actually. Yeah, this is turning more into a CarMax infomercial.
Don't say that. I'm not plugging. I've only plugged 4 different individuals, and
yeah, I think it is just in the States.
I'm pretty sure it's just in the States. But for those of my States viewers, if you're interested in it, if you're looking to buy a new car, the like I said, take a couple hours out of your day and at least be well informed. I did not have a pleasurable experience with the dealership that I went to, but you know what? That's not necessarily that dealership's fault. I would suggest you go through and make absolutely positively certain you read every 100% of the fine print and double and triple check with every person that you talk to that they're giving you, and have them pointed out on the contract where it has the special financing offer that they threw at you.
Oh, I'm sorry. They do have it, unless they're going under a different brand. They actually do have some CarMax listed in Europe.
Oh, well, there you go. Apparently there are some in Europe.
Not nearly as prevalent as in the United States, especially in the eastern United States, but they're there.
Well, go check it out.
So if you were in France or Poland or Germany or Slovakia or United Kingdom in like 1 or 2 locations, that could possibly be the same type of CarMax. Maybe. Not guaranteed.
If the Google machine isn't lying.
Right.
But, like I said, the worst that can happen is you leave without a car.
Right. Well, no. Worst can happen is you leave with your car. Because I don't think they're just going to take your car.
I think leaving without a car would actually be worse. Drive in.
But the worst thing
out.
would be never leaving ever.
Yeah, I suppose if they held you hostage, that would be worse.
No.
Anyway, I don't really have a whole lot more to say about the experience. It was exactly what I was hoping it would be. Smooth,
Good.
Quick, efficient, straightforward, honest, and upfront. And, when you get that survey that I filled out for you, I basically say it all in there, too, in the comments section. Type like 400 words in the comments section.
Good job.
Words. I was really happy with it, and I know too many people that when they're pleased with a service, they don't actually fill out those surveys. So I made sure to take the time to fill it out, and if they want to use my words in a thing, I don't think anybody wants to read 400 words in a commercial.
Probably not, but let's use those little snippets from it.
Oh, I gave them lots of snippets.
Okay.
Yeah, I gave them lots of snippets, so they'll have lots to choose from. 400
Great.
words worth of snippets.
I really enjoyed the sex brand of cars. No.
I didn't say that.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, we're going to go ahead and cut off here.
Yes.
Hope you've enjoyed learning about my car buying experience. And we'll be signing off. Choo.